All right, we are live. We are live. We are live. Nerd Z, is you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Dalpesh, is you ready?
In the baby blue today, I got to be ready, man. Gotta be ready.
I
Like,
okay. In a world where gas prices are so high that instead of petrol card, you might get a Presto card. It's the vent. I'm your
mm,
host, Jay Harneville. We got the Nerd Z in the building.
Hey.
We got Dalpesh in the building.
AKA Captain Corners, AKA I bring the chapstick with me everywhere I go. Uh, AKA I bring the crowd with me everywhere I go. Del Joe.
All right, all right. How are you guys doing? It's been a um interesting week.
Yes, it has been.
It's
Yes.
very intense.
Yup. Yup. Been very productive and challenging and full of opportunities and people. So this week has been it's been a lot of emotions, very overwhelming at times. When
Hmm.
when you are you have all the stuff you've been practicing in the gym every day, putting in that work, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like as if God wants to test you. Just be like, were you really practicing?
Oh,
Do you really know
Mm.
your stuff?
Oh no. Oh no.
oh, that's
The challenge and the worth ethics. Like you really bought that life.
Right? You really about it? Yeah. So that was my week. My week was filled with so you've been practicing, you've been putting in these hours, you've been spending all this time. So let's give you a pop quiz.
Pop
And then
quiz. Put everything away.
right? And add some more on top of it. Like, yeah. So but it's been good. Like obviously I have been the type of person who's very innovative, so even with nothing I can still make something out of nothing. And which is actually something that I've grown to always been like a strong, I guess, characteristic about myself. So it was nice to see that about me and know that it hasn't died. To know that I can make something out of nothing. And just the fact that emotionally, when things got hard or overwhelming, I would like jump ship and just like,
That's
you
it.
know yeah,
oh,
like I would just tap out.
this
But to
you
know,
just straight up just like walk away. This
yeah, like I would walk away if it was getting a little too hard or difficult. But like this week was like I got confronted with a lot of those things, and I I showed up. So I didn't walk away when it got hard. I was pretty like intuitive, and I continued to just push through and like persevere with what was happening, regardless of like what was being posed to me. And yeah, my week I just continued. Like I I'm tired and Sunday, so it's like this is a whole new week. I'm I'm definitely exhausted, but I mean, at the end of it, I can't lie. I got to celebrate. So I got to celebrate a friend's birthday,
Hey,
and seeing their milestones and everything, and I'm always cheering them on. So it was really nice to actually finish the week with that. And yeah, I just realized like how much, when it comes to like busyness, I'm
it's
really
no
about,
joke.
yeah, like I'm really about the busy work. Like, especially when it comes to yourself as an entrepreneur, you don't realize how much work you really are putting in until a week goes by and you start reflecting. You're just like, yo, that was a work. Like, that was a week of work. Like, but it's
like
so
a
satisfying at the end of the day. Yeah.
you
So,
put in like a not even a 40. You put in a full 60,
yo, might as well be an 80 because sometimes I just wake up
80.
out. Yeah, because I wake up by the time 7 o'clock comes, I'm on the phone responding to people, clients, potential clients, this and that. And then I probably don't go to bed until like 11, 12 sometimes. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
finishing the day with like, trying to put meetings and stuff and arrangements and stuff. So it's like okay, and it may not be for tomorrow or for like next week. Sometimes it's like months in advance. So it's just constantly trying to like fill my calendar up every day. So it's like, I get the chance to go and do that every day. And yeah, sometimes you don't realize, when you sit down, you're just like, that week I did that. When did I plan this week? Like,
That's
Yo, it's one of those things. As long as you're doing what you love,
yeah.
it doesn't feel like it gets tiring, but it doesn't really feel like work when you're doing what you love. You know what I mean?
Yes, very true.
So
Very, very
that's
yeah, I hear you on that, man. Delpesh, how about you?
Besides the stuff that was said off camera, no, I've been pretty good. Yeah, actually, so the gym thing, I think I went back to one of my older gyms, and then I'm gonna start again this week and be back on it. I won't even recognize me I want to say by June, I won't even recognize me. That's how much I'm gonna put in work, right? Hopefully this doesn't close down again. I don't see it happening. No, at least if they even think about doing it, I should probably hit my goal by then, right? So, but these gym prices outside, hold on, wait. These gym prices, hold on, let me put my phone down for this. Some of these prices out here, like, they think that you don't know math. They don't think like you can pull out a phone and pull out a calculator and be like, this sounds like a good deal, but I'm like, wait, hold on.
Hold on.
Wait.
I'm paying $50 a month.
So one example was the price looked right. It was like 30-something a month. So I'm like, 37, that's nothing. That's baby shit. But when I went to before I even went to the other one, because I was scouting around, looking at primary candidates, it was $30 in a yearly maintenance fee. I was like, oh, what's a yearly maintenance fee? It's like $30.
That's where they get you. That's where they get you.
This breaks down to $3 a month extra. So you're like, okay. And then it's like, oh, if you tap in with this 1-year contract thing, it's like you pay $70. I was like, what? Okay. If you cancel before the year.
How did they go?
You're like, wait, what? And then if you do like the pay as you go, it's more obviously. And then I was just like, this doesn't make sense. So then when I went to my old one, I was comparing month to month, week to week, 6-year, full year. So the first year of the one I'm going to, it looks, or the first month looks crazy, but as you go, obviously if you do a year, it matches up like this is a good price, right? But the year with the previous one, it's like, I calculated that and it was double, like it just somehow doubled. So one went from like 240, let's say, for the second one that I'm going to. But the first one I was checking out, it ended up at like 400 something. 400 something for the year? That sounds closer, but like, I'll take a 5-minute walk down or a 5-minute bus ride and take a next gym. No way. 440.
But that's how they get you. That's how they get you. Because it's like, first thing, it'll be like, oh yeah, 1 yearly contract and all that stuff. You're like, oh, okay. What if I don't want to get canceled? There's like a $200 cancellation fee.
That's what I'm saying,
like, and then you're just like, oh, you're just trying to lock people in. That's why when you do the pay as you go, you have to pay more. But if they lock you in, it's guaranteed money is inside and out whenever you leave or whenever you say you're not, you know what I mean?
Like, it's just
but
nuts, man.
How is that? Like, my thing is, how is that affecting them if you cancel your membership?
Yeah, like
you're not asking for a refund. Like, it's one thing if you don't get your money back after you get locked in, but to ask for additional money for the cancellation,
that's a little like,
because they're charging you to cancel to stay away. They're charging. It's like a phone plan back in the day. Remember back in the day when you had to leave the contract and they're like, nah, if you leave, you got to pay this outright for the phone because we gave you the phone. So it's like we gave you the gym. I don't know if it's like that, but it just sounds like, or it's going to be a hard time to cancel. One of the gyms I wanted to cancel, I just gave up because I couldn't find a way to cancel it.
Like they're like
Yeah,
doing the
because then if you
runaround.
don't pay them, like that's madness. Like
It's
you
an
pay them,
American company.
and then or you don't pay them, you have to pay a cancellation fee. But it's not gonna affect you with one less body inside your gym though. You have a capacity. Like it doesn't make sense.
That
It
doesn't
doesn't make
matter to
sense.
Excuse
them.
me.
That doesn't matter to them. They just want it all. They want it all.
Wow.
They want it all, yo. And if you know you don't, and if you want to fight that, you can always do a protest or go on strike. But speaking of strikes,
these strikes, man. These
the
strikes,
labor
man.
union has been on strike. Another union, I'm not gonna announce it, will be on strike soon. And I'm just gonna say this right now. This is not gonna be like I think
Done.
there's gonna be a whole heap of strikes, especially in the trade sector. I feel like a whole heap of strike is gonna go on.
I've been hearing that rumor for
Like it was probably long overdue with this inflation and all these other things that are happening. Like people are not McDonald's going strike. This pay, how I don't know if teachers are allowed to strike anymore. I don't know how that works. They just have agreements, right?
Yeah, whatever they sign, they're not allowed to strike anymore. Which is yikes. That's a little.
I remember the one day the garbage people strike. You remember that one time?
That summer was hot.
Listen,
hot.
they did it on the hottest day. And they said, all right, same day. They're like, all right, we come to terms. We will supply your demands. Like I remember just walking down, like, cause I was in school around that time, just walking down and seeing the garbage pile up from the apartments, pile up. And then by the time I walked home, they were like, yeah, we came to terms. I was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, duh. Yeah, duh. Like if you go on, like, I feel like there's a lot of places that are gonna strike soon. Like, I know trades is a big thing. I don't know. Some businesses, and that's the thing, some businesses, I don't know how that's gonna work for strikes, like, because you got to work from home. You know what I mean? Like Timmy's, if it was Timmy's would have strike. People should have strike Timmy's from time when they said they're not paying your benefits.
That's oh wow.
But at the same time, or I don't know, allegedly, this podcast is an alleged podcast. We will say that so lawsuits will not come in our way. We are a alleged podcast. Things that we say may be true or maybe not true, or just mere satire. But I feel like I don't know, man. Like I feel like there's gonna be some these gas prices, these food prices, these food things. Yo, it's looking kind of shaky still. I think we're gonna have to get back to gardening, guys.
It's funny. Somehow people still have money though. Like the place I'm at now, the store's still filled up, and people are just buying. Like I don't know if they're running through their savings. I don't know if they're getting loans. I don't know if they're getting.
Hey, I think for sure people are getting loans.
Like people are just running. They're just buying it like nothing's happening. It's just like okay, economy, shamonomy.
People are wow, shamonomy.
I was trying to rhyme a better word, but it just.
I didn't even know the word. I didn't even know the word, yo. Like, I don't know, man. Some people are just gonna, I don't know. In this world that we live in, like, it just seems like it's just gonna be chaos. Eventually, like, I feel like we're seeing the nick of chaos, of feelings, people being entitled to what they deserve, and people fighting for what they deserve or fighting for what they believe in, Sometimes you might just get to a point that, you say something someone might not like and you get tackled on stage.
Which is, like, now before we get to that though, with the striking now, how long do you think it'll last?
2 years.
I have a feeling, really?
2 years. I mean, I just looked up.
Like striking all together, like different strikes or just?
Yeah. Yes, it's going to be a 2-year duration.
Wow.
For these different strikes. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the same Ontario teachers, when they did their strike, their stuff started when? 2018? 19?
I remember
R-
striking from grade 4, yo. I
But
remember it's like, where my Mrs. Thing was outside. Why are you outside with signs?
Oh
but
shoot!
supposedly the short of it, right? Searching on
Uh,
Google right now. The short of it is that after the SL lit seemed that Ontario's teachers are now free to strike without a threat back to work legislation.
Oh, okay. That's what okay. I wasn't accurate then. Okay.
But they're probably getting paid something. They're probably getting paid like or something though. They're probably like
Yeah,
they
you only
probably
get go on strike though.
you know what I'm thinking that's gonna be an interesting strike? Colleges and universities. Now
Bro,
that everybody's on entrepreneurship and nobody needs to go to school anymore, sorta. Like the paper is a good thing, but at the same time, the paper
yeah,
is a
it's
good
like
thing for whatever you're like. I guess whatever skill it is, certain things you need to document. Like I'm not saying guys not to stay and to go to school,
yeah.
but I think
I can see for.
society has
Oh, sorry, go
found their
ahead.
way around it. I
So do
think
you
Yeah.
think
just
that this generation or this era of time is the boom of the entrepreneurship in Canada?
I
Or
Uh,
believe
this
so due to Serb. Serb gave people the kickstart. I feel like Serb has given people a big kickstart into
that's
what
a
because think about it. All you had was time, a lump sum of money that you would never get from your job.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then it's like, okay,
Some people saw the window closing slowly, so like, you know what?
right.
I gotta like,
And
gotta get
then
on
they
this.
and people just harnessed onto their skills. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go in with this. You know what I mean? I already know how to work $400 or whatever, or $700 every 2 weeks. I got like whatever in a
double.
month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now it's like, okay, we can make some moves. Like some people, I remember there's some people that, stuck on part-time jobs that I felt like they deserved full-time, but they just didn't want to give them because they didn't want to pay the full-time rate. You know what I mean? And they were
Yeah.
smart people. They were running the departments. Like some of these guys are running the shows, making the orders, this, that, and that, and they don't want to pay them full-time. We've heard these
Yo.
stories. You're giving them disrespectful ships, like starting them at night and then making them come in the morning.
Oh, they call it a cloping. So you end up the night and then they're like, get up in the morning. We need you
Starting the
again.
day. That is terrible. That is terrible. And people don't even get the 8 hours of sleep because they have to do, man, cha.
So we're predicting 2 years. 2 years? Damn, 2 years. That's a long.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a 2-year run for these things.
So that means no. So there's a bunch of condos. I guess. No, yeah, there's a bunch of condos and storefronts right now are just like on freeze. So you just.
I don't think these guys' business because they know when it opens they're gonna get their money back.
I don't.
Like a lot of the people, you know what I mean? There's some people that that's their investment, right? They just hold it there. It's like, all right, well, I might not get paid next year, but I might get paid in 2 years.
But I will. Yeah, I will get paid.
I will get paid. Unless it becomes a thing where the whole, I don't know, the company or whatever, the owners or whatever say, you know what, this is just going to continue to be a concrete wall because we are walking away from this job. So this is supposed to be like 30 floors. I was supposed to get the 30th floor based off my contract, but I'm only getting, they're still at 6.
It's just gonna turn this to a 6th floor.
And they just cut. Like after watching The Wire and see how the real estate mans can deal with anybody. Like you thought the streets can rob you.
Yeah,
The real estate. If you don't know your game and you don't know, like I guess in everything you're trying to achieve, there's always somebody out there to finesse you. I don't think there is some honest people that are looking for like your success, but sometimes they don't want your success to be higher as theirs. Sometimes they want what you have. You know what I mean?
It's funny you just mentioned that. So I was watching a clip, Math Office show. He's talking with Hassan, and he said Brooklyn rappers in particular, as soon as one person is successful, everyone pretends that they don't see it. So, for example, successful as in, oh, I just launched a great album release. I sold, let's give a number, like 200,000, 36 units, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm number one on Spotify. I'm number 9 on top hip hop Billboard, whatever, right? But then he said that he noticed like in Brooklyn for some reason, he'll notice like he would ask for collabs and people like, yeah, we'll get to it. They'll talk around it and stuff like that. But yeah, he mentioned that when he had success with I think he was alluding to the show. He didn't mention the show in the example, but like I think obviously when the show popped off, people started going like, okay. And he said, yo, some people want to take your spot. And he said,
Of course.
And he said
Of course.
there's particular artists in this area in Brooklyn that he invites them like, yo, come into my show, and they're still on some like, like your shine ain't really happening to me. To me, that's how some people move. Like,
well, you don't have to say New York. That happens here.
And it happens here too. Yeah,
it happens everywhere where everybody's trying to just make it, right? Not everybody's, really helpful when it comes to that. Like, as much as we could do we could do this, we could do that, but like we don't want you to get that far. I mean, yes, we'll be happy. Well, it depends. It depends who you meet, but like there are some people in there that they just want to be the top person all they want. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the game. Some people believe that they don't work hard as they do, or some people say, yo, it's just, I guess it's just a part of, I don't know, divide and conquer, if I could say, or just everybody trying to be up on the hill. Everybody trying to be on top of the hill, I guess.
King of the hill or queen of the hill. Yeah.
Like I can only imagine, like, I don't know, like Nerdy, like I can only imagine when it comes to like photography, how much competitors you have to deal with. Like mere competitors probably just like, yeah, this is yeah, you're doing photography, but I do photography.
No.
I mean,
yo.
You know what? I don't think there are as many people who are like that I've come in contact with, but I can definitely say when you are in a niche, for sure the competition is super deep. Like wedding photographers. Wedding photographers are probably some of the most cocky photographers I've ever met in my life. And it makes sense.
No.
Because wedding photography asks for and requires probably the highest level of like training and assistance in photography, not only just in your actual physical skill, but in your administration. And that's the part, if you're out here closing your own wedding gigs and you're like charging people, what, 5 to like 10,000, let's say 1,000 on the lower end, right? All the way up to 10,000. Some of these guys are like boasting because it's like, I get 10,000 and you only get 2. Like, that's it. So, but y'all are doing the same hard work. Like,
right. I wonder if like, two different photographers, let's say 2 different photographers do one wedding, if they like fight it out for angles. Like, have you ever had any issue?
Story time about that.
Have you ever any? Oh yeah. I was gonna ask you, do you have any issues where it's like, I know you're in photography, right? But like you're trying to get a shot and someone tries to follow your shot, or is it like you guys bang it out in shots? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is it like, you're about to take a photo and someone's like, hey, I like that shot. Or like, oh, hey, how's it going? And as soon as you walk off, they do the same shot.
Yeah. But it doesn't mean that they will get the same shot.
Or the same experience, right? They probably got some of the kiss, but not the full kiss or whatever.
Yeah. Sometimes it's also the way that their settings are done. It doesn't complement or it doesn't give what they are probably trying to achieve, or like doesn't give the moment its best, like, what's the word? Doesn't represent it well, or doesn't
ambiance,
show. It doesn't give the same energy or the, the essence. Yeah. So
It
it
really is
depends.
one. It really is one in a million. Like the
Yeah.
person that gets that shot,
Yeah.
and you're just like you're half a second too late, a second too late, and you're just like, yo,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's a real thing.
Yeah, man. If you can capture one person and they're sexy, somebody else can capture the same way, and same angle, same hand, but they just never catch the sexy.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
what happened. Like a quick story. Like I was doing no. So the person that I did work with at another studio thing.
Mm.
He's doing a wedding, right? He had the opportunity, so I come like at the half day because I couldn't get to the area in time, right?
Yeah.
But when you're at the wedding, it was like our group, and then another group, and then another group, and it was and then at times I was sitting back like just like observing, and it was just like and then they'll come here, and then another. Let's say there's group A, B, and C. So I'm the C group, right? It's like A, B, and C are just and you
Getting
can
multiple
tell.
shots.
Yeah, you could tell it was like competitive, right?
It's a beef thing, man. Kick down your chick, punch, like you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
like there'll be one group would have the audio, and then it'll be like they'll talk to the groom and then give them the mic, which is and then our group would be like, we can't get to the groom. Okay, put the mic in this level to get the audio from this side. It is competition, like,
Jeez.
and then it got to a point where like I had to go home after a while because I had to work the next day. But like they're like, they're going back to their house. We should go to their house and then take more house shots, or they're having like an after party thing. We take pictures after. I'm just like, yo, this is
a bit much.
this is a bit, this is a bit much, man. And that could happen, and you cannot get paid. Like that one thing, like that one thing I read on, I forgot which page I follow, but like the person did their wedding, a photographer did all the work and then didn't get paid them and didn't give them food. That's all.
Yeah, you gotta feed your people. You gotta feed the people. I don't think you should even. Well, the way I see it, I don't think you should give the pictures unless they pay you.
Like some
You should
photographers
give them
do
the
like
pictures
that.
with the watermark, like back in the day, like school photos with the watermark.
Yeah.
Straight up, just yeah, man. That wedding thing is it's that experience. I was just like, whoa, this is too much. There's too much happening here.
Damn,
Not for me.
I can only imagine. I only like at the same time. I feel like I've experienced it, but it's not the same. Like for audio visual, like when I just started, like I know some guys that knew visual more than me, and sometimes they'll just come to the board. Some people I respect. I knew that hey, they came to the board and they touch whatever they're touching. Don't switch it back because they know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? They know what they're hearing or whatever. But some people they they just come up and touch things and they don't know what they're doing. And I'm like, I know you don't know what you're doing. I know you don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
Which is fine. But like, say, hey, it sounds a certain way. Don't come up here and, trouble people things.
That is then
You know what I mean?
you're on the audio thing and someone just walks up and goes, yeah. You're just like, excuse me, sir, we're live.
You know what I mean? Sometimes I just let it. More times I'll be like, wait, hold on. I just let it like because I want to see what's going on. Yeah. Sorry, when I find out it's like off, I'm like, come on now. You didn't have to do all that, bro. But at least it didn't, it doesn't mess up the stage. So Dave Chappelle.
Yo, this
now okay, so Dave Chappelle had a performance. I guess he had a concert. There's no skit. At the ending of his skit, somebody decides to go and tackle him. The whole gang came and jumped him.
Wild.
They dealt with him a certain way. Like they popped his. I never seen my elbow can't even do that. His elbow was popped a whole different way I ever seen in my life. Like some UFC like arm bar shoulder. Like I don't know how you do that. His elbow looked like a shoulder blade. How close it came to his like where his midsection was, and Dave Chappelle just continued rolling. He said, "Oh, maybe he was a transgender." And then Chris Rock throwing shade he said, "Well, was that you?"
That
Like people be throwing their shots. You know what I mean? Now, as weird as it sounds, we got to keep in mind that it's actually common for comics to get like beat up on stage.
That's what people don't understand. It's very
It's very dangerous. Like people thought Chris Rock was a lot of people. I heard people say, "Oh, it's Will Smith's fault because he gave people the confidence to go beat up comics." Nah, I feel like this has been happening for a while. Because I feel like some comics, especially the ones that be dissing people on the stage and all that stuff, man.
Roasting the audience? You taking a risk with that.
It's like, look at this person over here. Looking like that person can get up, a black, right in your face. One hard thump in your face. And you're just going to have to hold that.
Like, I remember when Carlos Mencia was popular for some reason at one point in time, Joe Rogan would like walk up on stage because
he stole jokes.
He stole jokes. So the minute any club like Mencia was in and Joe was in town, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, he's at this club. Okay, watch. Come in, walk up on stage. Yo, you stole this joke from da 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 da. You stole this joke from da da." And they're going back. It's on film. Like they're going back and forth. Like, "No, I didn't say that joke. I made the joke." Da da da. And it's like, yo.
But that's comics versus comics. Like, and you don't want to fight Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan actually knows how to fight.
He knows the scrap, yeah.
He has his black belts in jiu-jitsu and taekwondo. He's kicking man's head off way before Fear Factor, yo. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's not the man you want to deal with. But yeah, like I feel like comedians. Crazy. I think comedians are the only people that can make light out of situations that's going on in life right now. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
the way I see it, here's the thing about comedy. I realize, like I've heard, basically when it comes to, because Dave Chappelle has said some, outrageous things that offended some people, but at the same time, I feel like a great comedian has to know where the dark level is, and like there's a level where it's like it can be dark, but like if it's funny, like super funny, or like a certain type of funny, it's like everything goes.
Interesting, yeah.
Like some jokes that we hear that it's like, okay, that was racist as hell or whatever, but it's a pass. It gets a pass in a way.
Yeah, because it's one of those, like, how you laugh at something like, aha, oh shoot, I shouldn't have laughed at that. It's one of those,
right?
Like,
but at the same time, sometimes it's aha, that's funny, but like we know it's a joke. Nowadays, you can't do it anymore because it's like, ugh. You know what I mean? Oh, I am outraged. I could laugh at everybody else's joke that this makes fun of everybody, but that's a whole different thing in itself.
You're saying the sensitivity is like a seal-it. Everyone has like a seal-it sensitivity, or just it's like people just hear a certain thing and they just go, "Nah, I didn't hear anything else you just said. You said a particular thing. I'm not going to listen to the whole joke. I don't care about context. I don't care about that."
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about context. Don't matter. Context don't matter nowadays. Yeah. I'm stepping away from that because feelings are
context doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No.
But the thing is, it's funny because it's like, it's funny how now people are like, oh, context doesn't matter, but it's like, anyways.
Hey, we're on the edge. We're on the edge when we talk about it. because these people are getting real dark when, okay, let's get to it. First things first, we're gonna say RIP Kevin Samuels. Condolence to the family, kids, and family, people that know him that are grieving and going through this. Kevin Samuels passed away sometime this week. At first when I heard Del Pesh, you were the one that put it in the group chat. And
even I was confused. I was like, he died? What?
I didn't believe it at first because I was like, what? I was kind of confused. And then I went to YouTube and then I seen young Don DeSascad post something about it because he was on Twitch and he showed his reaction when he found out. But then it was like people didn't believe it. Like I Googled it and I didn't see anything I only seen it in these certain places. But I'm like, man, I don't know if that's a credible source. But then I go on YouTube, later on, this was after work, late night or whatever, started going off that it's true, right? As soon as I seen that it was true, the next morning, I think, I used to listen to using videos when I'm brushing my teeth and all that stuff. I've seen Twitter reactions to this.
Specifically Twitter, I'm going to say.
Twitter reactions. I've seen the sickest things that I could see people write about the man. Right? Let me ask you guys a question about Kevin Samuels. Based off what you guys heard, based off what you guys listened and watched from him, how do you guys feel about him? How do you guys feel about him?
About who?
Kevin Samuels.
Honestly, I didn't have any at first. When I first heard him, I can't lie, I was a little upset about what he was saying and the rhetoric that he was sharing. But after a while, I wasn't mad at the man for his approach and where his heart was. He meant well. He really wanted. I think he really wanted Black women to be able to have access to Black men, especially those who are in a good position or who have been built up so they can be able to serve a Black woman. I really did feel like that was his goal. But some of the things he said were a little intense. And, it was just kind of whoa, sir. What do you mean? Huh? So there is that. But other than that, yeah, I didn't have an issue with him. He was okay. He had things that were a little wild, but I feel like he was just doing that for shock value. Other than that, that's it.
Del Pesh, how about you?
I think the first time I seen a random clip of him, he was reviewing like cologne and stuff, because he used to do apparently he used to do how to be a Black person in the corporate world, which I found very interesting, because I don't think any other content creator was doing that. So he'll tell you what to say. He'll share your experience and be like, yo, sometimes I move up and I'm the only Black person in the room and I still marry Black. He says sometimes you'll see other Black people in the corporate and they marry white, and because they marry white, they move a certain way. And he said, watch out for people. Watch out for people backstabbing you because of that. He said his bosses would talk to him a certain way, like he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just like, no, I'm smarter than you guys, right? I work this time's many harder than you, but yet this dynamic, But nah, he used to do like cologne reviews, fragrances, and then all of a sudden, I think he dipped into the relationship thing, as we all.
But he was going at the men first.
And that's the key part. Yeah, he would say one of the wildest clips. He said he's like, if you don't have this and this and this, why would a woman want you? Let's be honest. You're fat. You're fat as f. You don't have a job. You don't even work 60 hours a week. You have nothing going for yourself. Why would you want a high value woman or fine woman, right? Like,
but he definitely said something very, very interesting. It was the fact that he said men do not want to listen.
which is, yeah. Some dudes out here, like.
So imagine if dude is out here saying men do not listen to what other men are saying. Why would they listen to a woman who's been trying to help them and be in their corner?
Here's another thing though. Keep in mind. I think we gotta realize that not only, I think both parties don't want to listen.
I'm very like in the middle.
As much as it's like, oh, men don't want to listen to other men, women don't want to listen to men.
No.
Or women don't want to listen to other women either.
No.
Sometimes,
right here is a man basically saying, I want the best for you. I want you to increase your income. I want you to be able to get married. I want you to settle down and have a really great structure for your life so you can be better. This is a man saying this. This man chose to go and start stigmatizing women because he knew Black men were not listening. And he knew that in order for him to continue to grab the attention of men, he had to shoot women in the foot first.
You know what's funny? Tupac said the same thing. Tupac said, in order to get dudes' attention, I have to go at the women first.
Right? So if women know this, why are they gonna listen?
Here's the thing though. Based off what I heard, like, because I watched a couple Kevin Samuels flicks and stuff like that.
Oh,
and I listened to some
of the women he had on there. No. See, I'm sorry.
I am not gonna bash any other women. No. I am not going to do that. Like, you can go ahead. I will not. But
there's some delusional ass people out there. Delusional. I'm sorry.
One thing I've heard from Kevin Samuels, based off like some of the situations that he got into, whatever. Mm-hmm. People hear like, okay, first thing we gotta keep in mind, the man's 50. Mm-hmm. When you hit 50, because it's funny, it's only a year and a half.
56.
50, yeah, he's in his 50s. Mm-hmm. When you hit 50s, you don't like, I don't know how it works. I don't know if it's senior, I don't know what it is, but like some people get to that age and it's not that they don't care, but some people just will give it to you straight. You know what I mean? Some people will just give it to you, sir. Some people that, will still have compassion and empathy, but there's some people, they're straight, no chase, no time for this.
Probably because of life. They're just like,
because of life or because of experience, regret, whatever. We don't know what he's dealing with. He was married and not anymore or whatever. Yeah. Whatever reason, we don't know. But the harsh reality is like, I feel like age plays a factor. Situations play a factor. The world is very unforgiving. Mm-hmm. I'll say the world is very unforgiving. Like, people will love you and then cut you off easy. Because especially now, you say something nobody likes, or it's not what the world likes, or the world is going up to, or whatever, or we're changing, innovated into. You say anything different, or even challenge or have a discussion, and you're on the upper side of the discussion, you will be slaughtered by the court of public opinion. You'll be put on the trial. You will be executed. The jury is tainted. Because if you say anything that the jury, like anything you can't even be on a jury board if you say anything different. This is just the world we live in, right? So I think when he was going about it, because keep in mind, when he was doing it to the men, we didn't hear nothing about it, eh?
That's the whole...
But that's what I'm saying. Because why would you hear anything about that when no one's trying to listen to him?
But He went to the woman, started saying some harsh things about, women should do this or don't say
Yeah,
this.
because we talk.
Hmm?
Women talk and they listen.
And that's what, but
whoa, I wouldn't say that, actually.
I wouldn't say that either.
I'll
But
dial that all the way back.
I mean, this dial it back. Both parties don't listen. Let's be honest here. And that's the one thing he like.
Okay,
ooh.
how about this? How about we define what is listening and what is not?
Basically follow instructions. So basically, like the first example I was saying, when he said you have to, increase your income, you gotta have stability in your life. You gotta, if you have like health issues or whatever, you try your best to combat it. If you're overweight, you lose the weight. And then from there, like, I guess the person has to call in again and do what they call a follow-up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the person follows up, they're like, okay, here, I listened to your advice. Thank you. I met this beautiful woman, because, I followed your advice. I don't know. He claims he has, I think he said he got 5 people married. No, I think he like around, no, I think 10 or more. He's successfully paired people, I assume with the same income, same goals in mind, the same structure they want to have for the families, and he's definitely created couples from his own words, right? I think he had a Facebook group where people would join in and be like, hey, I'm looking for a mate. This one I'm looking for in a man. This one I'm looking for in a woman. And then he curates it. He creates the session. He says, you two are a perfect fit. Let's work it out. Go on a date. Do your courtship. And then, he claims he has 10 or more successful couples under him. So there's some people that listen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for the joke thing. But some of the women that called in, Lord have mercy, Z. I remember one story. One woman, I think it was a light-skinned woman with she had locks, right? So she was in a situation where she just divorced her ex-husband. They have, I think, one child together. She's asking for advice because she's like, yo, I think I've come to the realization that there's some dudes out here that don't really want a woman with kids. And it took her like 8 years after the divorce,
right,
dating around different men, potential partners, to be like, oh, these guys really don't want to play stepdaddy. And he was telling her like, yeah, this is my advice to you. Unless something like extreme happened in your relationship with your ex-husband, I suggest you go back to him and work it out. Because he says, I'm gonna tell you right now, like the way some dudes are moving out here, they're not gonna tolerate, like, some dudes think like, what do I gain from being with a woman who has a failed relationship? And then I gotta take care of a stepson that's not mine. And then the other route is, what if I want to have kids with her? And she's like, well, no, because I already have one. And it's like, well, I don't gain anything. I don't get a legacy. I don't get, like, you know?
And you don't think that's vice versa for women?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. But based off the question, I feel like it's vice versa on both parties. I'm not gonna say that it's only one side because, bro,
it's both, definitely.
I had I don't know if I'm gonna bring this story time, but like I had like a reality check, like from a well intelligent, beautiful, like, I guess you would call, what do you call that? High class, high value woman of high value. Is that what you call it? Whatever. Yeah. Whatever the stats statistics deem that may be. I remember we were talking about like prenups, right? And one of the like reality checks for like, high value women, or like the funny thing is like, it just shows when sides flip, when someone's like, yeah, prenup. Da, 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 da. We got you have to have a prenup in life because these women are da 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 da, right? And like she said to me, she's like, certain people should be talking about prenup when they don't have assets. So she's there like, yo, I have assets, I have things, I have stuff. So if someone is coming with someone else's like mindset about like prenup, like why are we talking? Like, who do you think you are talking to someone? Like, you know what I mean? And if you think about it, it's humbling because it's like when the shoe fits the other foot, you're kind of like, ooh, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, just because it sounds like it's on one side, I mean, he's gonna promote it to one side if they're feeding him, if you think about it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're feeding into this, like come on, you're feeding into whatever it is that he's saying, and you're hate watching. You know what I mean? You're actually helping him out. The same intelligent person, actually, she told me, because that's the person I asked about Kevin Samuel has, and this is the thing about hate watching and people that like, I don't want to say, okay, I'll say that use their high function brain individuals. I would say, if that's what you're gonna say, they go, okay, this person is saying something I don't like. He's going down a path that I'm not sure if I'm feeling. I am not gonna watch this individual. And that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to
watch and hate.
No, but you have to be mindful of what is being said. Like, mind you, some of the people who, and some of the things that he did say that a lot of people, and again, it goes back to rhetoric, what he was sharing, some of the opinions he shared were not favorable opinions. Again, especially if you understand that a lot of what he was doing was geared for men, but the fact that how he's going about it to gear it for men is such a backdoor approach. If you know that his approach is really like the worst way to go about it, you are somewhat selling your soul. And you're selling your soul by like demeaning a group of people for your aid and assistance for the greater good, yes, but it's like you didn't have to do that. And I think where those people who do hate or share some form of like opinion against how he went about it, it's the method of how he went about it that a lot of people probably don't enjoy. The fact that you're going to shame people or shame a group of people that are supposed to be your partners in order for the same message that you want to have delivered for those same partners to help continue to build that person up. Why are you throwing them under the bus? They already are, from a society just like yourself, bullied and pushed, and also have to compromise in so many ways. But here is another person who is also wanting to push you up and build you up, but is instructing the same way of making sure to push you down. It's not really encouraging at the end of the day. Yes, the overall message of what he's trying to do, building Black men up, is a great message, but you don't have to jeopardize the well-being of Black women to do so. His popularity gained from doing that.
Now, here's where the plot twist comes in. Most of the watchers he has is women. It's around
because again, women are listening.
No, but I'm saying, like, despite him doing that, like,
why would you listen to someone that is like demoralizing,
harsh in their
or harsh in their approach,
abrasive, they say?
Because if you're not listening, then you don't know what you're talking about.
But
and then
you have Fresh and Fit, you have all these people saying the same thing. If that's what they're saying, they believe, because these guys are now
same thing.
Black men's podcast is like, ooh, you know what I mean?
But they're not saying the same thing. And this is why you have to listen. You have to know what, even if it's stuff that you don't want to hear or you don't care to entertain, or it's not a shared opinion, doesn't mean that you shouldn't know what the opposing opinion is. You should at least have an understanding of what their arguments and what their construct of their argument is altogether. But for you to say, okay, I get it. This is where your point of view is. This is who your intentions are for, etc., etc. Kevin Samuels to Fresh and Fit, two very different platforms, especially how they're going about who they're targeting, as well as how they're trying to build them up. Kevin Samuels was talking about you understanding your own structure as a man and for you to develop these things. Why are you going out on a date if you don't have $30,000 in your pocket? You going on a date is meaning you are ready to settle down. The act of dating means that you are trying to commit. So if you're not trying to commit, committing has this many things of responsibilities behind it, leading towards marriage or leading towards whatever it is, living with this person. There are certain responsibilities, certain financial things, certain levels of enlightenment that you have to cross before you engage. That was Kevin. That was Kevin.
Yeah.
Fresh and Fit
is like way different
story. They're trying to talk about how many girls you can slam, how many people, your number ratio, trying to be the most attractive thing in the world. That has nothing to do with building you up in your whole mental state to prepare you for having a long life legacy with a woman that you want to settle with, which was Kevin. And that's the main difference. So if men do not want to listen to the old school conversation from a 50-year-old man, giving them play as how you want to settle down with a wife, but then he wants to go about and say, well, these chicken heads, if that is catching more ears for him to turn around and say these chicken heads, but low key, he's like, I'm so sorry that I had to do this. You would look at him like you're your soul, man.
Well, based off what I've been listening on Kevin Samuel, like the clips and certain things I listen to, I don't think he's only coming after Black women. I feel like he came after anybody except celebrities. He was giving it to.
Yeah, I agree.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
I agree with you.
So for people to be like, I feel like people like to label one thing and not see the context of everything. Like context is key, I think. And a lot of people stray away from context because
you need the bigger picture.
The bigger picture. I would say context as well. Because like people like to take what they want and run with it, not see everything, right? So I don't like, I feel like, he did.
Sorry. No, continue.
No, I'm just saying he did his work for the male community, and man's just like, all right, it hurts. We have to. You say, okay. I'm gonna be very careful. I may be stupid, but you say it to one community, they'll take it like this, and they'll be like, okay, well, you know what? That get up, gotta do what I gotta do. They caught me slipping. You like you say it to another community, they go, I feel like you're wrong, or I feel like there should be this. I feel like and then he's the one that's gonna be destroying the hell out of people. Like, this is how I see him sometimes. Like sometimes certain things. For example, this is how I'll put an analogy. Sometimes when I see some things with Kevin, someone will come in and be like, "Oh, I want a beef patty," and I want an oxtail meal right now. Mm-hmm. I want an oxtail meal. I don't know. I have a hard time getting an oxtail meal. It's like, and then he goes, "Okay."
Prices, man?
And then he goes, How much money you have in your account? $1.50. Okay. What can you afford? And don't say beef patty. And you know what you could afford. Like it's just the way I see it, it's like he'll break it down and then be like, hey man, this is not a good, like his approach is harsh, but sometimes you gotta sit with it and be like, yo, as terrible as it sounds, a broken clock is right twice a day.
I mean, yeah.
So maybe, just maybe, there's some gems that may come from it, but your feelings is bypassing what someone is saying.
Oh,
I'm not opposing anything that you're saying about Kevin. I think that what the real issue is in his death is that a lot of people are upset with even the fact that people have a very cordial way of his passing. And some people are not satisfied with the fact that how he has shared his rhetoric and how that has impacted people. So the fact that women, especially being a community of women, right, who have children out of wedlock, how can you be responsible for marrying yourself? You can't. If the rates of Black men, talking specifically Black men, Black women, is lowering, and it's due to the fact that they are not bringing in financial well-being, they are not living up to society's expectations, they are not mentally there. These are some of the factors impacting their ability to propose to Black women. So if all these factors are impacting, these women are not having children out of wedlock because that seems like an option, right?
and they're probably messing with the same dude, but that's
The same dude that can't fit the income or the mental state.
Have the 3 to 5 baby moms are usually the guys who do have the money.
Okay.
In those areas.
So where does accountability come into play here?
Oh, you said that word.
Well, it comes on both sides.
No, I know it comes on both sides, but like we're saying it like, yeah, we get all these situations happen, but like where like, you know what I mean?
Think of it like this.
What are we doing?
If all these women close their legs, don't do anything, stayed at home and waited for these men to knock on their doors until they were financially, mentally, and emotionally stable to marry, how long would these women be waiting in their houses?
I don't know, but no, you got a point. You got a point. You got a point. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Today, no. Based on today, because women are not the ones who marry themselves, they're not the proposers. Based on that, how long will these women be waiting in their houses?
Actually, it'll be fast. But I may be wrong.
Rates of marriage from Black men is going down. It went down in the past 10 years by half. So
because people are feeling like they don't need to get married anymore.
Yeah. But
people don't feel like they don't need to get married anymore.
So if men are actively not choosing in continuing legacy in official ways, and if we're going to say, okay, these Black women are going about having these children out of wedlock and whatever, that seems like there's one group of people who want to continue legacy out of somebody.
I didn't even hear what you just said. I'm sorry.
It seems like one gender cares about legacy more than the other.
Me, I care about legacy. I'll speak out my take. That's why I do the things I do.
It's not a personal. We're not talking about personal. We're talking about a whole.
The way I see it, for me, the way I see it, like, as weird as it sounds
like
I don't know. For me, I don't know about the high quality moving. I don't know anything about the average. For me, I feel like relationship should be a puzzle piece. Like it should be like yin and yang, like some way where both people can get what they both need out of whatever the relationship may be and grow and balance and grow from it, right?
Yeah,
right.
understood.
But at the same time,
yet those same ladies who actually have these 4 kids actually tends to make more than the men who they actually have these children with. But continue.
I mean, but we have to hold on. Okay. If we, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to talk about financial things, but we could talk about when it comes to 4 kids. We could talk about the education. We could talk about the systemic things to it. We could talk about the financial things to it. Endless thing. Especially when we could go, huh?
They do make an impact. Why are we all not married?
Of course, I'm not married yet. I want to get married.
Why?
I'm not ready to get married personally. I'm ready to get married, but like I know financial wise, I want to be in a better situation. Okay. That's my take. That's my take. Okay. I don't know about everybody else.
But that is majority of the issue.
I was gonna say, sorry, the house thing where you said, as you were saying earlier that if the women were, you said if they sat in the house, if they were to stay
in their house, and the reason why I say it like that is because if women were to continue to uphold the moral sanctity of, and I'm saying this from a Christian perspective, if they were to continue to stay with the moral sanctity of that, how quickly would these women get married?
It'd still be fast. But
I think it'd still be fast.
The problem is there's some women out there that have had multiple marriage proposals and they've turned them down for their reasons. If your reason's your reason, but for them, if we're going with the Christian proposal, no, they'll still get married at a fast rate. Yeah,
I think we're kind of like we're going into a deep systemic financial thing pool. Let me just reel you guys back to like Kevin Samuel's approach.
It was but that was Kevin Samuel's like those were his theories. His theory simply that marriage itself is practice.
What was more important? Okay. Well, okay. So here's my take.
Wait, James, before you go your take, I just want to catch up with the comments. So shout out Ira for first comment, but Black women are the mostly highly educated ethnic group in North America. They are looking for a partner. When would Black men as a group catch up? If a woman can take care of and raise a child by herself, doesn't feel like she can depend on the child of said father, why should she have to be beholden to him? But that assumes that both parties are willing to put up. I'm reading these, but they're not really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably in the midst of the midst of like the conversation we're having.
But that assumes that both parties are willing to put in the work to make that happen and to bend to accommodate, which that is what a marriage is. I mean, I'm engaged. So that was the part when Z asked, is everyone here married? So Ira's engaged, congrats. Hey,
congratulations, Ira. Congratulations.
Her last comment.
Congratulations!
They would never get married if they held to traditional marriage ideals. You think so, Ira? I think they still will.
I disagree. But
I think they still will.
That's neither here or there.
But yes.
But I was gonna say for Kevin Samuels, what was more like impactful? Was it just his approach, or like his standards, like what he's saying? Because sometimes, like I said, broken clocks are right 2 times a day. Sometimes it's not and the big thing I feel like, because based off these heinous tweets that people are saying, rejoicing in a man's death. Let me just start right there. You people, individuals that are like rejoicing in a man's death because you disagree, need help. Therapy is
go
get yourself some help. And you're going on Twitter about it, hiding your face, profiles private,
Okay.
You can't say it with your chest because it's not verified. And the people that are saying it with their chests that don't actually listen to what the man's saying, or just being like, okay, I'm just gonna say it because everybody else is saying it, because this is the person we're gonna pick on today. This is the person we're going to, crumble. We're all gonna be activists. Let's power up our Twitter fingers and go to war. You know what I mean? When they're dead and they can't fight back.
It's pretty
Well, maybe
disgusting.
that's the reason why they are rejoicing, because it's like no more of him speaking whatever he's speaking.
But you know what's the crazy thing about these type of things? You gave the power of the sons of Kevin to rise with a next type of vengeance. There's always going to be someone that's going to be watching this little 13, 14-year-old that was inspired by Kevin and seeing the heinous crimes or seeing the heinous things people said about him and say, you know what, I am going to rise with a vengeance on whatever group or whatever thing. I don't think that's good, okay? I don't think, and some people may be worse than Kevin. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just like,
You just said it. There has been. And the thing, I don't know if Z was in this was before we started. No, Z wasn't on yet. But one of the pictures I looked at, and it really made me sit back and be like, oh shoot. Jerry Springer does the same thing. But Jerry Springer, I'd say he has a similar technique to what Kevin Samuels did.
With what?
So in terms of hey, single black mom, who's your father? You don't know your father? Okay. Man, that's tough. You gotta come back to the new show, Maury Parfovich, he did the same thing. And one of the memes I saw was like, people have smoke for this guy, Kevin, but yet Jerry and Murray have a televised syndicated show that shows
based
the
off these
dysfunction.
situations.
And no one really comes after them. There's no petitions to cancel the show. I'm guilty too. I mean, sometimes I watch it, but
Yeah, I watch it too. I watch Jerry Springer. Jerry Springer had the crowd in the action.
even the crowd's cheering on. But
The crowd. No, they got the crowd talking their opinion. That was like the Twitter.
I mean,
it was Twitter before Twitter. Yeah. They did, like Jerry and Murray did the same thing.
Yeah, but it's true. And that's the thing for me.
Wait. What did they do the same to, and what was the exact same that Kevin did that they are doing?
I mean,
Kevin will be calling women and men out their name, and blaming them for whatever. Like, you're the reason why this is happening. Jerry Springer says it, not Jerry himself. Jerry's smart. Jerry's not gonna say it like that. He's gonna have his crowd say it. He doesn't say it as super abrasive. Maybe in the tough enough, he's like, yeah, you guys just need to know your fathers. And then just wrap it up. Like, tracks start playing. So you know what I mean?
What Jerry and Murray do is they do passive aggression. Kevin is more abrasive aggression. But the same play is happening. It's just the kung fu is different.
Different type of stance.
It's just a different stance.
Different type of color. Different type of things. It's the same thing.
I think Kevin's channel has a petition on it. I think there's a petition to remove Kevin's channel, like delete the whole channel, like something like 70,000 signatures. But that's been in the circle since like before COVID, actually.
The way I see it,
I think they're completely doing two different things. I think if anything, Maury and Jerry were mocking the Black experience.
Does that make it any better?
No, it doesn't make it any better. But I think they were mocking the Black experience while Kevin was critically thinking the Black experience.
See, we just agreed. I said this. Yeah, the stance is different.
Yeah,
I could do crane, so they're doing crane style, and Kevin may be doing snake style.
But
mocking
here's the thing about
are two different things, though.
I feel like, as weird as it sounds, when I heard some of Kemmer's stuff, I don't feel like he said, I'm prove me wrong when he says, hey, Black women are the reason for this, Black men are the reason for this. Because based off what I seen, because I watch but like I don't watch enough to see like his whole sides. But based off, I felt like everybody was getting the smoke. And if it's a certain demographic or whatever that he's giving the smoke to, why are those people still going there to get the smoke from him? Why? That's my thing. If he's coming after Surfer, why are you going to talk to the man? Why are y'all calling the man?
Because of the original statement that I even made. The fact that his popularity was based on throwing Black women under the rug. If he was doing great all throughout this time, great. And then he said, I'm not popular enough, and decides to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start throwing Black women under the table so I can get the attention that I need. If that's the decision that was made now, you're going to get a lot of hate, especially if you were getting support beforehand. So those same supporters are going to be upset because now the same people who are your body of supporters are being attacked. You're going to get hate. Now you're two-faced. Now you're a hypocrite. Now you're all these other stuff. That's how that comes about.
But here's my thing now.
Wait, I was gonna say, it took me a while to figure out, but I was surprised to what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the word notice that if someone's bashing women, there's some women out there that will tune in to watch a woman get bashed up. There's a weird civil war where, like, yes, they'll listen because
it's not a civil war. It's really a standard upholding thing. That's really what it is.
I don't even call it
a standard
upholding. Like I said, if more Black women were to stay in their houses and live up to this moral standard, do not open your legs. If he thinks he has to go to your parents first before he can court you, he has to do all these rules first before he can do any of these things. That is what they're trying to. The ladies who have an issue about the bashing, it's because of that. It's like, ladies, you guys are not upholding this level of keep your doors and your legs closed until he does.
Not in the aspect. I'm saying, like, no, if a woman's getting clowned, there's other women that will tune in to watch a woman get clowned.
Right, but what kind of women are they? That's what I'm trying to say.
Everybody was getting clowned.
No, but I'm saying in my particular example.
Not everybody. Particular women were getting clowned. Particular.
White people got smoke. White people got the smoke.
I'm not saying they didn't get smoked, but it was what I said was particular women. Did not say what caste, ethnicity, nationality they were. Particular women, though.
Based off what I saw, it looked like everybody was getting the same energy.
No.
The only person that weren't getting the same energy was celebrities.
No.
That's the only thing. And I don't watch enough to be like,
I watched enough. That's the reason why I can say that. Because I know that he defended, like, one of the biggest points he made where he was defending Black women or just women in general was this, where he talked about the 80-20 rule. He said that if you as a woman were going to be in a relationship, you do not want to spend or have to give more than 20% of anything of the valuation that's happening within your relationship. The reason being, if at any point you end up getting pregnant or something happens or whatever, you as the submissive partner or the person who is based on that, you as the woman make less than the man, because he actually did say, and he thought that that was a real thing. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be having to pay 50% of what you're making while he's only really paying 20% of his income.
Understandably so.
Right?
Understandably so.
That doesn't make sense. So that was his way of defending women and saying, like, okay, listen, this is one of the ways. He's like, but you guys keep wanting to say, oh, I want to pay my way. I want to pay my way. And it was like, no, you're not going to do that. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make math. His thing was, that is a part of a man's job to be a man. Don't take away that part that he is supposed to do. And that was Kevin. But if some women were too fixed on the fact that, oh, well, I can't depend, which is a trauma thing. That's a trauma rhetoric response. I can't depend. They're not going to be there. How am I supposed to be able to expect that? And especially when you know that there's lack of fathers, men don't stay in these committed relationships. They don't actually want to invest and put all these things, all these reasons. He really cared. Like, that's why I say, like, for me, at first I didn't like him, but after a while listening to him, he really did care. But I just didn't like the fact that in his little 15-minute questioning, his ploy of trying to get the biggest amount of traction ended up having to throw women under the bus. That was it. But everything else that he had, he cared very deeply about the betterment of women.
But he came at men with the same energy when he started. Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When he started.
Okay. He came at people, different races, with the same energy, right?
No, he didn't. But yes, continue.
Okay, except celebrities. What other race did he not come at them with the same approach? Because I blatantly remember when you went to the white woman and smoked her out the boots. I seen it. I seen the body with my own eyes.
I understand, but there was one where he was talking about media and how media was created and curated in order for viewerships and in order for sales to be made. And when he did that, there were particular ways that language, visuals, and something else he said, in order for people to, especially when marketing to Black people, he's like, we were not people that were considered in a commercial sense altogether. Buyership was not available for us. There was no money made and budgets put aside for Black people. But when they started putting a budget aside, then they curated it a certain way. So he understands the mythology and the mindset of how the breaking of certain things were done and how it continued to be propelled, or not propelled, but like it continued to be like something that people were constantly seeing on a reoccurring basis, where it's the broken home or all these other like ways of going about it. He was aware of that.
Okay, but was he saying to continue to have a broken home?
No.
Okay. So was he okay? So basically, just to clarify my like understand like Kevin Samuels as a whole, it's not what he's saying, it's how he said it.
And the intention behind how he said it.
So, okay. So, because I don't know, one thing I heard, like, you know, I heard just like, you know, the saying I've heard is, it's not about what you've done for people. In the end, it's how you made them feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, okay, I feel like people are coming for them because maybe they see themselves in when he's dashing, you know, hot coals in people's face and disrespecting them. But like, are people actually listening? Like, I wonder if people are actually listening to what someone is saying. You know what I mean? Even if it may be deemed wrong. Like, I don't know, was he, like, for me, I'm trying to wonder, is he wrong for saying what he's saying, or he's wrong for his approach? Or people just disagree with what he's saying, but does it disagree to the point, or is he saying things to the point where people can go on Twitter and say, yo, that we should rejoice that a man is dead? Is it that deep?
That's the...
Again, going back to what I said, if your intention beforehand was doing great, you were inclusive the whole time, and then you said, y'all, I'm gonna shit on you, like, so I can get this boat going faster and farther and doing whatever. But they have been from your diehards from the beginning. That's really it.
But all right.
I
So
don't know if it's.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that at all.
So what do you think?
Because the way I see it is, if you don't agree with someone and if you don't support the fire, why are you keep fueling the fire? Why are you fueling the fire?
Because you don't want to be ignorant to the opposing side.
But you already know his side.
Well, some people, no, I think some people,
You
I
already
think
know his side has never changed the whole time he's been there.
His
You know his
approach
side.
about it did change. So if your person is not coming
I
with the
guess.
same face, then you have to relearn them.
I think what I saw on Twitter and like what's the other website? Lipstick Alley. I think it was more like it was just a straight up like I don't think they listened to anything he said really. I think they just they caught on to the tagline of what they
heard.
They as in the media, because even the media when he said they tagged them as like a relationship guru, self-made or self-proclaimed, and then they put like women hater, misogynist, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So you have a few people who tagged on and said, "Oh, they're a miss a what? Okay, I'll bet if this person dies, I'm dancing, I'm posting their picture, saying, aha, I'm smoking on that pack, blah blah blah." I think it was a majority of that, because even part of him trending was not only him passing away, but it was a lot of people sharing memes, retweeting, being like,
they just want to be a part of they want to be a part of the jumping.
Mob mentality, yeah.
So
yeah, like a lot of faceless people, right? Some people that there were like blue check, they'll clean it up a little bit, but you can still like you can hear.
Do you think that's really women?
The majority of it is women, though. Well, okay, wait. Let me no.
Do you really think it's gonna be for women though? I don't really think so, especially if you really are listening.
Honestly, I think a good 60% were women. I'm dead serious.
I don't think so. I feel like maybe 30% are women, but the other 70 are probably men posing.
I wouldn't even say that much either.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
I think you heard me well.
I don't think that makes a lick of sense. I don't think
why wouldn't it make sense?
Why would men be coming after Kevin Savage? I get what you're saying, but if they're covering their if they're right now,
why they wouldn't.
Let me tell you something right now. Hold on. Let me explain. No, hold on. Let me explain. Kim Delpes just said that there are no faces. No faces. If it was a man that was trying to capitalize on this Kevin Samuel thing, he would show his face because he can say, "I stand for."
Some dudes. Okay,
wait. You know why? Because again, if his main point is the improvement of men have been coasting. He said, "Baby girl, this is what I'm gonna do for you. I'm gonna talk to the dudes." So y'all can get married.
I don't think it's about men.
Hear me out.
Okay.
Y'all can get married. Y'all can get treated the way you want to get treated. Yeah? Let's build these men up. The man said, "I'm here with y'all. I'm rallying you." Okay, cool. Man does some gaslighting stuff. Turns to whatever the case is. But at the end of the day, his intention is still men need to be built up. So if this man passes away, all these faces stuff, this man is asking for men to start being the head of the table. But if they don't want to be the head of the table, and this man's saying, "You guys got to do this, that, the third," and they haven't been doing it, why would I want to now start doing something to get the head table level when I never want to hear it in the first place? So the man's dead now. You think women are gonna be like, "Oh, kill this guy out of the because his message of what people have not been listening to in the first place, who it's directed for, and it's gonna actually benefit the other gender? Why would the other gender?
But that doesn't make no sense, because if he started off, that doesn't make no sense.
I didn't finish my point though, because even despite like the example you just said, they still did it, and even then, like
how? Why would I be cutting off the hand that's feeding me?
No, but I
if it's gonna benefit me, why would I be cutting off the hand that's gonna feed me?
No, because like you said, like when they read the title of what he is, or they assume
They
what he
go
is,
by that and they run with it.
they run with
They
it.
don't
Yeah.
think anything else. They go by that. This is society as a whole.
Remember, I already said he only hooked up 10 or more relationships. Very, very few, right? And then in Z, you gotta know too, like, there's some people out there, but I guess the example I'm gonna use is women. There's some women where you explain something to them and they'll be like, I'm not taking in what you're saying. I hear you, but I don't hear you, right? There's some women that move that way, right?
Some women, some people, there's men and women that be
They
like,
both do, yeah.
I get I see what you're saying, but I feel this, and you're wrong because based off what I feel. Like, you see, I know you're saying 1 + 1 is 2, and you called me an idiot, but I feel 1 + 1 is not 2, and I don't like the way you made me feel for saying that, and for me saying the otherwise. So because of that, I don't want to listen to anything you got to say.
Like I was
That's
saying,
how some people. That's how people work. That's how some people work.
Delivered is not being accepted.
But that's what I asked. Is it
the content of what is being said is right and accurate, but how it's being delivered is not acceptable?
But that's what I asked before. What is it? Is it his approach, or is it what he's saying? That's what I wanted to know from before. Is it the approach that he deserves to die in a rotten pit of hell, or is what he's saying supposed to die? Like, these people are coming at him about something, but what is it? Is it deserving of that? His approach, is it deserving of that, or what does he say? What his moral, right? His take?
Wait, I gotta dial it back. A dude, I mean, there may be a few that did, but I don't. Nah, I think it's like I was trying to explain the rules of the internet. Like, first rule is the internet's not real. Rule 1B. So that's 1A. 1B.
Yeah.
Just because you see a black person with an avatar doesn't mean they're black behind the keyboard.
Thank you. That's what I was saying. Okay.
Now, hold on. Despite, on top of that though, like web forums that are catered to women mostly, I'd say Twitter's catered to everybody, but women be tweeting. And through, I don't know if it died down now, but from the day like he passed to, I guess now we're prodding, right? I'd say like, if it was like, if I had to do a pie chart of 100%, I'd say at least 60% were women, maybe 10% were gay dudes, and the rest were just dudes. And then maybe 10%, maybe the 30% left of the dudes, maybe it's white dudes in blackface. I think it was just a mix of like...
You just don't know.
And that's like also a creeper. Unless they're checkmarked, you don't really know either. But the difference between Twitter and Instagram's more real, I guess, because if you look through people's profile, to tell between the human and a bot, humans have stories. Humans have other related people that they follow, right? So
some people just block their page and they have no pictures, no life. They just block their page and they follow who they want to follow.
But even then, like, it was more tame on like Instagram, YouTube, that we're on right now. But Twitter,
because you can't say without getting a rebuttal.
That's also
true. Yeah. You'll get a rebuttal. You'll get someone coming for you if you say something wild.
Yeah.
But for me, I just don't understand for me, like, I understand people have different, takes, and I understand that you can have different takes. That's fine with me. Have your takes, whatever. For me, all it is I want to know, when people are dissing the dead, is it because of his approach, or like, is it what he's saying? That's because the way I see it, if someone's dead, you can be like, I think the most civilized thing you can say, yeah, I don't support everything he's saying, but hey, I know he has a family and kids, condolence to the family, and da-da-da-da. You know, you don't have to be the president that y'all smoking out of Kevin Pat. What are you doing? Why? Why is that? Why is that a thing?
Maybe that's just the energy he got out there, put out there, and that's what he's getting back. I don't know. The way he hang up on people sometimes. I don't know. I
So
can't
it's
help
set up.
it.
So the one, I don't know, because it's like, so the same. So the energy that he gave you, you're gonna use it on a dead man that can't respond. The same energy.
Listen, if that is what was put out there, what do you expect to receive?
But he's not receiving it because he's dead.
What do you expect? If
But that's
somebody
not
was treating others well, do you think other people would be bashing? No, you probably would hear respectable things back in their death.
Sometimes.
I'm not saying
Sometimes.
but if they were a
people,
respectable person, you would know when it's not hitting right, and the person's notes are like, "Oh, that's just a you thing," versus
the way at the end of the day, because we have to wrap this up.
Oh, hold on, wait. You don't want to touch on the? I guess a plan B. Well, what's happening with the states with the Roe
with
versus
abortion.
I would say I would say to give it a week because it's 1:35 that we were here for an hour and a half.
Well, at least tell the people about what's happening so they can stay tuned.
Just a tease.
Yeah. Right? Like,
okay.
Because, you know, I'm just going to throw this out there and say, when you realize abortion was really meant for men. But anyways.
Okay. One thing I'm going to say, and it might be a room shaker, it might be controversial, because I didn't want to really get into this. I really did not want to, because I don't feel like I have to. But I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, you have to take a breath. You have to take a.
It might not even be like, you know, anything shake worthy or whatever, but I think people need to realize. I know there's a situation in every, you know, reason. There's a reason for everything, right? There's a reason for everything. There's a reason for something. Like there's always something like, what if this? What if that? What if that? Totally get it. I understand that. The one thing I'm just gonna say though is a lot of things were born through adversity in a sense, or like a bad situation. A lot of I feel like a lot of blessings come from bad situations or tough situations or uneasy situations. So it's like, for me, when I hear it, it's like, I get what people are saying, but like, what if that person or that individual that, you know, like, it's just a weird part I think about sometimes, because it's like, I understand people have a choice, whatever, have your choice, that's fine. But like, what if that person is like, that person was blessed to change the world in like something big? Like, what if what if that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you hear about like young kids when they get shot and killed by the cops or killed by something. What if that kid was meant to change the dynamic of a generation? Like, you know what I mean? What if that person had the potential and the chance to like change the world or change things that years, like, you know what I mean? Generational changes, situational changes. And it's just cut short from a blink of an eye. That's just all I want to say. I'm not saying that, you know, I just feel like there's just some things like they're just not discussed. So I kind of just go, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'll just say, wisdom will be shown by the children. So in the future, we'll see how everything plays out. Then yeah, like I mean, we could keep talking. We could talk about it next pod, but that's my take. So obviously, I don't know if we're on the same side or different side. This might be controversial. We might need someone that actually knows about this whole abortion thing. I don't know.
That's an abortion thing. Oh, that's a good
Not
term,
abortion thing, but like I just don't know. Like I feel like it's.
I could definitely say read up in it. For us, it's still against the law. It is still a law that is just not actively being imposed or being, what's the word? Executed? I don't want to say executed. There's another word. But
enforced?
Abortion is against the law in Canada.
I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah. And it was up to a conversation in the 1980s. So it's very recent. It's very new. So it's just like what? About 1980s. We're in 2022, so about 42 years old. Very fresh. So it's not even a 50-year-old person yet. It's not our parents' age yet, some of us, right? So the concept of going back and abolishing it, the act of abortion, seems fairly reasonable, especially since the countries themselves did not stand on the idea of it in the first place, being that it is only 40-something years old. Right? So it is something to look into, but also I think that when you look into it, also look into it with a mindful eye of the social constructs that are going for it, who funded it, who now funds it, the actual clinics, the different types of clinics that are running in the American context as well as the Canadian context.
And where those clinics are placed.
Where they are placed and located on an economical scale as well. And to also look at the rate of population in places that actually have and don't have.
So I don't know. So I don't know if he's gonna go all the way with it, but I'll say the timing of this is interesting because you have the threat of climate change. We were discussing earlier with food plants just exploding, just regular stuff, which causes prices to rise, rising gas costs. They're saying microplastics can bring you trouble conceiving a child because it can destroy your fibrillars. It's FIBR or something, but it's a very particular part in the human body where if that gets damaged, like, and it gets scarred and it doesn't heal correctly, it messes with the birth, right?
Oh yes. I know what you're talking about.
You have.
I don't, but well.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening that I think in my theory, I may be wrong, threatens certain people's lifestyles. And this latest pass that certain states are doing seems they're doing a lot of run the clock plays to keep certain people to hold on to something a little longer. I hate coding stuff. I hate being lyrical, but like,
yeah, it's okay. I still don't understand.
There's a reason.
There's a reason for everything.
The reason it passed at this particular time, there's a big reason why. Because like I said, climate change, hunger,
politics.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, but same thing with Canada, but I don't think we're getting it that big. The only thing we got was what? Free license plate sticker replaced. Like that's about it. And we're like, oh, and
think that's what they want you to believe. But we have a lot of things that have been going on. Even with us, we've had a conversation about the abortion rights and laws as well here in Canada. We've had a lot of things. It's just that what our media wants to show us and feed us is one thing, but what's really happening in the back is another thing.
I remember, what did they say about the abortion bill? Like, I remember they were saying the timing. Like, something was happening around that time, so you wouldn't even know this bill was overturned until it
got leaked.
But
Leaked.
Man,
so they say.
This world is going to the chaos, and this world is going down.
It's not going down. I just think
I'm gonna say this.
I think the pendulum's gonna be in the middle now. It's not gonna be left or right anymore. It's gonna be right in the. It's gonna stay there. It might wiggle a little bit, but.
And you know what that means? That means it'll be the end of time. That's why we need Jesus. Jesus is the way. Okay, Jesus is the one. He's the one.
Yes.
Okay. If you guys have any anything to plug.
Well, definitely go and find your girl on Instagram at thenerdz, THENERDZZZ, and go and follow my photography page at ZZZ.studioto on Instagram as well. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want to book a session, DM me and I'll get back to you.
Delpesh with the baby blue do-rag, the dewy silk satin. I don't even know what that is.
Apparently it's velvet. So they say.
Yeah,
velvet. Yeah.
What? Velour velvet? You kidding me?
Do-rag Del. Oh, that's funny. Do-rag Del.
Do-rag Del. That's the name. There it is. There it is. Do-rag Del. There it is.
With the flap out.
With the flap has to be
out. Do-rag.
Oh, shout out Dorntainment. Shout out, do-rag. Yeah, that's funny. Shout out Dorntainment. But I'm maybe catching these sun rays, man, and doing this this body sculpting,
Hey.
Drinking water, because that's important. Gotta stay hydrated. Yes. Just keep aiming at the floor, so you don't have children out of wedlock. You don't have I've been telling you, I'm pretty sure people listen to my message. I've been saving people for 2 years now. I'm telling you guys, I'm looking at the camera for this. Aim at the floor. Aim at a body part, aim at the TV, aim in a vase, aim on the bed sheet, aim on the carpet. If you don't think, because I tell people, like, yeah, you should have safe sex and all that, but like most people don't use it. Every time I pass that aisle, that condom slot is filled to the brim, falling on the ground and everything, because no one's using them. But look, if you're not going to use it, aim for the floor. That's all I'm going to say.
Yo, I swear we should have like a whole condom ad just at the end.
No, seriously.
Another thing I'm gonna say that starts with an aim, because you start with aim, abstinence. Abstinence starts with an A. You don't have to worry about anything. Them condoms will stay on the shelf. You support abstinence. Abstinence the way to go. Bro. There's super, before I plug, abstinence. You wouldn't have to worry about this super chlamydia and super gonorrhea. These things are upgrading like Pokemons. You need abstinence in Jesus, okay? These things, like these STDs be airborne. They call them STIs. They're gonna be STIs, airborne sexual transmitted diseases. You stay there.
Ooh.
You think COVID was something?
Oh man.
These things are becoming undetectable, and it's messing us because someone decided to insert there someplace there is not supposed to go.
Oh, okay.
and it fused with some mutation things, and you know it was sugar, spice, everything ice, and then chemical XYZ hit the thing, and then yeah, different type of blossoms and buttercups. But anyway,
I was gonna wait,
and bubbles.
I was gonna say on something I heard. Why is it that wait, hold on. Why is it that when James mentioned like airborne STIs and all that, why is it very similar to COVID? Just think on that a second. Why is it that they're saying COVID can mimic HIV and AIDS? They're saying it mimic it. They're saying it can mimic it. How is it that coronavirus can give you herpes? Just have these questions in your mind. For those who are listening,
you caught a air cold sore. Oh, an air cold sore, an airborne cold sore. You need to start. You were max at the parties. But anyway, follow me.
The face condoms to the parties. Yeah.
Yo, yeah. Jay Hunterville on Instagram. Lou Pistols on Twitch. This week I'll try to stream all week because next week I'm not gonna be streaming for the next 3 weeks, I would say.
Oh geez.
Yeah, because that's when I'm gonna be on the road. So yeah, shout out the Blizzard Boys, coldest pod out. Yeah, I'm gonna be on the road. It's gonna be a journey. I'm gonna be going around in certain places, and we'll definitely talk about that when I get back. I'll be calling in. That's one thing I'll try. I'll try to call in for wherever I'm live from, wherever I'm at. It all depends.
More black people.
More black. More, you know.
I mean, everyone else invited too, but specifically more black people.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening. We're on IG at theventpod. We're on any streaming provider. I like everything: Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcasts. If we're not there, let us know. We'll be there. Have any questions, Akrel?
Or complaints, yeah.
Complaints, concerns. Send it to askthevent@gmail.com. Even the cancellations, send it to us, and we will give you. We'll give you a refund. But in order for the refund, you got to pay like a $2,000 cancellation fee, and we'll retract our statements. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. You guys be safe out there. Thank you guys for still supporting.
Please be safe. Yeah.
We still are selling Vent t-shirts. You'll be selling Vent t-shirts. We still want to collab. If you want us to collab, we should put that on the as a question on the page. Like, who would you want us to collab with? And tag your podcasters.
Yeah.
If we could be a part of it. Yeah, yo. Something. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. This is The Vent, and we out. Peace.
Wash your hands.
Chris Brown deuces. Keep your head.